So this is day 7 of the trek. As you can see, I'm not only feeling lighter, but even my eyes are more light and bright. And that's, I think, the representation of how I feel like after this 7-day hike. It's only 7 days. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it feels like I left Kathmandu weeks ago, you know. So interesting how many things happen when you just do the same thing every single day. Just walking. But so many things happened in this. It was really a journey. I realized it was really a journey, and so many things happened, and everything came, you know. And I noticed this also that happens for you, right? So there was doubt, there was like resistance a lot. There was a huge headache. I really had some problems with the height this time. I never had it before, but this time I was more struggling with the height. I couldn't sleep. I didn't sleep for 4 nights almost. I had strong headaches. It was quite heavier than I expected. One day, there were so many things, but it felt like every single thing which happened the last days happened for me, you know. And I also realized that we need contrast of resistance again falling in love with life. You know, we have this contrast. We need the contrast in order to experience, to also enjoy it's the fullness of life. I think that's the fullness of life which makes life amazing. And when we stop resisting the resistance, it's also a really big insight, then resistance don't exist actually. It's just something which is present in a moment. And I feel like I'm looking forward a lot to go back. I realized that since 2.5 days I'm just in this kind of extremely feeling of aliveness, of love, just full of love for life, for the existence, for every single thing, you know. I'm so grateful. I just want to keep this feeling, you know, the attachment to this feeling. I want to keep this feeling, and I know it will not last because that's how it works. But this is not something, you know, which you can lose, because it is something which is already inside of every one of us, but we lose it. We lose that spark of life during our daily life. And for me, this kind of expeditions, this kind of journeys, this kind of experience is always a journey back to that feeling, a journey back to a remembrance of the place within ourselves where we can always go back to, you know. It's not something you need, you can lose in that sense. So I'm looking forward a lot to go back and to continue every single thing I'm doing at the moment, which I truly love my life. I love everything. You know, I did this trek 3 years ago. Not this trek, but another trek. It was my first trek 3 years ago. And that trek was actually the beginning of I think, my new life. I sold my house and everything. And when I just did that, I started trekking. And then I fell in love with that kind of conscious way of hiking. It's a spiritual journey. For me, it's not about the top. It's about what happens along the way within yourself. And I fell in love with that 3 years ago. And by the time I was writing actually about organizing this kind of things, but it took me 3 years to ripen. You know, it was a ripen. I just turned 40. And I think I needed those 3 years to embody my own practice, it's about embodiment, right? Before you can teach, before you can share, you have it's a ripening process. You need to experience yourself, and you need to go as deep as you want to help others with, I believe. So now 3 years later, I'm really sorry, somebody's talking to me. I'm really realizing that I'm so happy that I choose this path, that 3 years ago I choose this path, and now 3 years later I'm totally on my path. That's how it feels like, and I'm looking so much forward to share this journey with everyone in the world. This is just the beginning. That's what I feel like. And on the other side, I just want to stay here and be in the mountains. And I think I am one of the I am somebody who can really, really, really bring you to your fucking highest potential, and I will always support you to follow your dreams, follow your heart, follow everything, because you only have one life, and I truly believe that our mind's capable of so much more than we do now. And at the same time, I also love this present moment, and there is so much power in being in this moment without wanting something else, without the need to change it, without the urge to have more, or to be busy working on the future, because this present moment is what we have, and everything is within here. And that's what I realized the last day. Like, oh my gosh, the gold is in here. And on the other side, I also felt strongly when I was up on the top, and I was quite empty. Like, it's also nature, right? If you look at nature, how now it's going to be spring, like how everything is creating new life, how everything is growing again after the winter and after the cold and after the emptiness, new life arises. And I think that creation side is within us. We are creators in that way, and we always feel the urge to create. So it's always this balance for me between being and doing, between surrendering to life and at the same time also expanding, creating together with life, together with a greater consciousness. And yeah, for me here in Himalaya, this is a place where all these things comes together. And it's the dance. It's the dance between resistance and aliveness, emotions. Because everyone I met was crying one day, everyone on the way because of something which arises. But at the same time, there's also so much happiness. So it's everything, dark and light, sweating and freezing. That full experience when we can be within the now and accept whatever is, knowing that it will change. It will change always. It will never be the same again. It will change, and we can enjoy this moment, and we at the same time have the capacity to create our future the way we want it. So it's that balance. It's that thing which for me was really clear the last day. It's like being within here, knowing that life will continue. There is a future, at least not in now, but we can create what we want. And even all my questions I had when I started walking, I put an intention for myself as well. I was walking with questions. I asked life for answers. And it's so interesting that every single question, every single question is answered, even in the most surprisingly way. I'm like, so this is crazy. I just asked this morning, or oh my gosh, when I start walking, I was thinking about this, and now suddenly, it's really clear to me. And I was not searching for it; I just remembered. And I think that's how the mind works. Like putting in attention, knowing where to focus on, then release it, and then somehow you just know. It's a remembrance. So within a few weeks the girls are coming. Within 3 weeks, and I can't wait to take them on this journey and to create many, many, many more journeys, because this was just the beginning.